What's up, fellow adult collectors? Welcome to Civilian Collectibles. Today, I'm going to be talking about the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Green Arrow figure based on the Arrow TV show. As a collector of predominantly live-action based figures, this is the one I was most looking forward to from McFarlane's first wave. Personally, I don't like to spend a whole lot of time on the package itself, so to aid in your hunt, here's a shot of the barcode, and now, with Green Arrow out of the package, I'll give him another full rotation on the spinner. That way you can see them all the way around. If this is your first time landing on my channel, hi, my name is Seville, and here I like to discuss action figures and other collectibles based on my favorite movies, TV shows, and video games. If you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Once the rotation is complete, we'll get right into the review. Starting with a quick look at everything that comes in the package. Along with the figure, you get the trading card, the bow and arrow, the bundle of arrows, the quiver, and the base. The base is the same type that comes with most of the other figures in the line. The trading card features the same pictures on the back of the box and has the data file read-up on the back of the card. If you'd like to take a second to pause and read the back of the card, now's the time. The bow and arrow accessory is fixed in the current position and it does look pretty good, but the arrow itself seems a little too big for the size of the figure, like it's slightly out of scale. The quiver itself looks nice and simply plugs into the back of the figure. With all that said, now let's take a good slow look at the figure itself, up and down, front and back. The detailing on this figure is one of the primary reasons why I was so excited when I first learned that McFarlane Toys got the DC Multiverse license. All of the different textures and lines simulating the different fabrics and gear are incredible. All the different paints are very cleanly done with little to no slop or run over errors, making even the smallest detail, like the zipper running up the front of the jacket, stand out. To me, this is one of the things that McFarlane Toys is definitely best known for. I know that there are a lot of people who are afraid that adding in all this articulation would take away from McFarlane's ability to get the details right. However, this Green Arrow figure proves that to be false. One thing I do want to point out that seems like an odd design choice to me is that they carved a little slot in his head for the hood to slide into. This, in combination with the stiffness of the hood itself, basically renders all the neck articulation useless. While I was messing around with it, trying to get it all figured out, the hood itself did start to detach from the main body, so I'm going to call that a quality control issue. Beyond that, I do think that the head sculpt itself is fairly accurate to Stephen Amell's likeness, but I do wish they'd added a little more green under his eyes to fully cover that area. However, because of the depth of the hood, when everything's back in the right place, it's not as noticeable under a more normal light setting. Moving on to the legs, the same level of detail that's in the upper body does continue all the way down. Once again, I just feel the need to reiterate that the sculpting detail on this figure is entirely immaculate. So what about the articulation? Well, as I pointed out a minute ago, even though the neck technically does have articulation, it's not going to move as long as the head is locked into the hood. Other than that, the shoulders do spin all the way around as well as move outward, plus they do have the butterfly joints for added motion front to back. The biceps do have full rotation, the elbows are double jointed and fold pretty well, the wrists also have full rotation and have the hinge for up and down movement. The tornado waist, however, is where it gets a bit more interesting than I anticipated. Earlier on, the jacket itself felt a bit less solid than I expected. It turns out that underneath the jacket, the figure itself is missing something that Stephen Amell is most known for: abs. When I was checking around for the ab crunch type articulation, I heard a slight pop and got really worried. Thankfully, nothing's actually broken, and the two pieces simply connect together, clicking into the notches here. It all goes back together just fine. It's just something I thought you guys should all be aware of. Continuing on down to the legs, the hips do spread out pretty far, the double jointed knees do fold really well, and the ankles do have a full range of pivot motion. Plus, last but not least, the toe joint does fold back pretty well. Just to do a few quick comparisons, here's the Action Comics 1000 Superman. Then next, I have the DC Collectibles version of the TV Flash, so you can see that this Green Arrow is a bit bigger than that line. Of course, the best comparison I can go with is the new McFarlane Green Arrow next to the DC Collectibles Green Arrow. The level of detail between the two is pretty similar, with the main exception being the fact that the DC Collectibles version was the Season 4 suit, where he was sleeveless. For the most part, as far as the accuracy and quality, I do think that these figures are pretty well equal to each other. Personally, the only advantages I would say the DC Collectibles version has over McFarlane is being able to turn the head under the hood, the green being fully covered around the eyes, and the bow and arrow set. I do prefer the DC Collectibles bow because number one, it seems to scale with its figure better. The string is an actual string that I can manipulate and put in a neutral position if I want to, and the arrows are all individually made rather than being in a single sculpted bundle. So with all that said, it's time to run this McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Green Arrow figure through my guidelines for a complete and fair review. This is a brand new sculpt that is highly detailed and incredibly accurate to the character. It is in scale with the rest of the line, it does have more than 20 points of articulation, and it balances really well. Even though I think the accessories could have been done a little bit better, it still gets the point for including them. The roughly $20 price point is fair for this line, and it should be widely available both in stores locally and online. So the only problem I had with this figure is that quality control issue with the hood coming unattached. Therefore, leading my final score to be a 9 out of 10 star rating, meaning it is outstanding and one of the best of the year. So if you're a fan of the Green Arrow, especially as portrayed by Stephen Amell in the TV shows, I can absolutely recommend adding this McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure to your collection. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video,
get over here!
And subscribe to Civilian Collectibles.